Zhou Youde, also romanised as Chou Yu-te, Chinese, pinyin, Zhou Youde, Wade Giles, Chou1 Yu3-te, died 1680, courtesy name Yichu, Chinese, pinyin, Yíchú, was a Chinese official active in the early Qing dynasty as governor of various provinces. As Viceroy of Liangguang, he contributed significantly towards repealing the Great Evacuation edict, together with Wang Lairen. Widely venerated as a respectable civil servant, or a benevolent official, Zhou was deified after his death in 1680 and shrines bearing his image were established throughout China. Zhou Youde was born in the late Ming period. He enrolled in the Hongwen Institution in around 1644 and studied prose editing and poetry, graduating in 1661, the first year of Kangxi's reign. Thereafter he enlisted as a bannerman in the Qing military and served under the bordered red banner. In 1663, he was appointed governor of Shandong and became the 9th person to take the helm. In 1665, Zhou successfully petitioned the Kangxi emperor to reduce taxes on the locals because they were experiencing sustained periods of drought and famine. He also sought for maritime trade bans to be lightened, following the capture or destruction of several Portuguese trading vessels. A year later, he spearheaded the modification of an abandoned German government palace into a prison hospital, rallying scores of villagers to assist in the construction with the promise of food. Some officials and workers had to travel approximately 150 kilometers to Qingzhou to procure some of the necessary construction materials, including wood and stones. The compound is now referred to as Pearl Springs, and is a historic landmark in Shandong. It is described as Zhou's greatest contribution to Shandong. As governor of Guangdong and Guangxi, a role he held from January 1668 to February 1670, taking over Chu Jinmei, Zhou, and fellow official Wang Lairen, jointly wrote a petition to the Kangxi emperor, urging him to abolish the Great Clearance, a forceful relocation of coastal communities inland to cut off the supply lines of Ming loyalists. Zhou had personally witnessed the suffering of the victims and had long been a vocal opponent of the ban. As he observed, the evacuation resulted in an imbalance of demographics, and it plunged many into unemployment. The edict was officially lifted on December 16, 1668, some 7 years after it had been implemented. His successor as Liangguang, Governor-General, was Quan Guangzhou. In 1679 he became the governor of both Governor of Yunnan and Guizhou. Zhou also served as governor of Sichuan from 1674 to 1679. Zhou's career was not without controversy. In one instance he was accused of not providing supplies to the Qing military during the revolt of the three feudatories, while in another he was criticized for being unfilial by calling for the construction of a grand residence when he was in a mourning period. Zhou Youde died of illness in 1680. Following their successful petition to repeal the Great Evacuation Edict, Zhou and Wang became celebrated officials revered especially by Tang clan members and have since been memorialized throughout China. As Ng, 2015, writes, the requests made by Zhou Youde and Wang Lairen for the well-being of a large number of people in the coastal areas won them high respect. The sign of their esteem is demonstrated by the wide scope of worshipping activities and associated excessive quantities of steles dedicated to them throughout Guangdong province. Notably, the Lords Zhou and Wang Memorial Study Hall in Canton was established by the Tang clan in 1684 as a tribute to Zhou and Wang Lairen. Similarly, the Temple for Two Dukes in Guangzhou was built in honor of Zhou and Wang. The Hongshan Temple in Kaolian contains imagery of Zhou. The displaced villagers had allegedly been given divine indication, after worshipping at the temple, that they would return home after 1,800 days, a prediction which roughly came true following Zhou's efforts. Zhou and Wang were also deified at the temple to famous officials in Nantou. Zhou is likewise treated like a deity by Chaos Han residents, who seek advice and divine help from him. This phenomenon is dismissed as dross superstition by a Choksu scholar. Zhou is a prominent figure in Hong Kong folklore, referred to as a benevolent official. Descendants of the resettled villagers observe the Chou1 Yu3-te festival at the start of the 6th lunar month annually, as a means of expressing their gratefulness towards Zhou and Wang. Zhou is briefly mentioned in Feng the Carpenter, a short story implicitly criticizing the Qing government by Pu Songling and Strange Tales from a Chinese Studio. The tale makes reference to the remodeling of a former prince's residence into an office for various government ministries. In reality, Zhou had indeed commissioned the construction of a provincial yamen on the abandoned premises of the Prince of Jinnan's former residence. According to Sondergrad, 2014, Pu inserts him, Zhou, obliquely into his story, knowing that Zhou's reputation would not be tarnished by a fiction, while the mere mention of his name would help to keep his legacy alive. Relics such as imperial documents mentioning Zhou in 17th century biographies of him are housed at the Qing section of the National Palace Museum in Shilin, Taipei. The collection also includes official records recognizing Zhou as a governor of virtue, most notably a monumental biography highlighting Governor Zhou's requesting tax reductions for the famine-stricken villagers of Shandong. Tagliacozzo, Eric, 2015. Asia Inside Out. Harvard University Press. ISBN 9780674286344. Baker, Hugh, 1968. A Chinese Lineage Village, Shengshui. Stanford University Press. ISBN 9780804706704. Food, Loshu, 1966. A documentary chronicle of Sino-Western relations, 1644 to 1820, translated texts. Arizona University Press. Jean Li, Holm, 2002. A Tale of Two Villages, the story of changing village life in the new territories. Oxford University Press. ISBN 9780195928594. Wang, Dui, 2005. Dynastic Crisis and Cultural Innovation, from the Late Ming to the Late Qing and Beyond. Harvard University Asia Center. ISBN 9780674017818. Ng, Pak-Shung, 2015. Indigenous Culture, Education, and Globalization, Critical Perspectives from Asia. Springer. ISBN 9783662481592. Sondergrad, Sydney, 2014. Strange Tales from Liao's Hide. Jane Publishing Company. ISBN 9780895810519. Zeitlin, Judith T., 2007. The Phantom Heroine, Ghosts and Gender in 17th Century Chinese Literature. University of Hawaii Press. ISBN 9780824830915. Souza, G.B., 2004. The Survival of Empire, Portuguese Trade and Society in China in the South China Sea 1630 to 1754. Cambridge University Press. ISBN 9780521531351. Watson, James, 2004. Village Life in Hong Kong, Politics, Gender, and Ritual in the New Territories. Chinese University Press. ISBN 962-996-1008. Huang, Jialiang, 2014. Hong Kong, Shrouded in History, in Chinese. Sanlian Books. ISBN 9789620435324. Wu, Zhongquan, 1991. Complete Records of Han Chinese, in Chinese. University of California. ISBN 9787207013880. Qi, Jialin, 1986. Taiwanese History, in Chinese. University of California. ISBN 9787544335775. Zhou, Shijie, February 2009. Deities in Hong Kong, in Chinese. China Bookstore Publishing, Hong Kong. ISBN 978-9628931101. Dan, Boat, 2006. 1000 Chinese Surnames, in Chinese. Tune, Chinese Archives Press. ISBN 7801666861X.